Journey back with us to the wind-whispered sands of ancient Africa, to the Kingdom of Kush. Here, nestled by the Nile amidst golden dunes and fertile lands, emerged a civilization unperturbed by the passage of time, a realm brimming with unfathomable cultural richness and phenomenal power. Its wealth and grandeur unparalleled, born out of the land's plethora of resources and the canny administration of the Kushite rulers. In this age-old tapestry of polyglot societies, hieroglyphs and piercing eyes of golden statues, emerged a figure who would etch her name in the annals of history, Queen Amanirenas, a regal monarch carved from the same formidable stone that made up her indomitable kingdom. Nestled in the 1st century CE, the dawn of her rule rang in a time quivering on the precipice of dramatic change and palpable upheaval across Africa. Yet, undeterred and unabashed, she stood at these crossroads, her visage a mirror to the fortitude that would guide Kush and its people through the maelstrom of trials that laid ahead. As a young queen stepping onto the throne, Amanirenas discovered a kaleidoscope of challenges awaiting her, an alliance like pearls strung on a thread, ready to scatter at any moment, and a kingdom on the brink of metamorphosis. It was her indomitable will that united the people of Kush, dissecting their differences and highlighting their shared resilience. The idea of an unconnected realm, fragmented in the face of growing threats, was a dire consequence she diligently worked to avoid. Providing visionary leadership, the young queen wielded power with justice and empathy, facilitating the transition of a crisis-ridden territory into a land blossoming with prospects. Her reforms sculpted the socio-political landscapes, carving out a kingdom where harmony was more than a distant dream. Law and order stood firm with her subtle yet influential guidance, and under her reign, a chaotic tribe transformed into an evolved, advanced civilization. Amidst the vivid backdrop of Africa, Queen Amanirenas found herself playing chess with fate, pulling Kush from the shadows of turmoil while paving the way for its prospective grandeur. As she maneuvered herself around the intricacies of governance, her reign began to redefine the power dynamics in Africa. Beyond her prowess in battle, Queen Amanirenas vested herself as a fervent patron of the arts and sciences. It was in her court where intellect blossomed, where scholars congregated under her wise rule, a beacon of knowledge in Africa that attracted the continent's brightest minds. Artisans and scientists thrived under her generous patronage. Her reign bore sculptures depicting her standing proud, leading her valiant troops into infernos of battle, embodying an unwavering courage, seldom mirrored in stone. Yet her ambitions propelled her further, to the construction of architectural masterpieces scattered across Kush. Amid shifting sands and stifling heat, pyramids were erected under her command, symbolic of Kush's enriching culture and blossoming intellect. As a passionate patron of religion, Amanirenas set forth on restoring decrepit temples, breathing life back into these hallowed precincts. With every brick laid, she sought to preserve their cultural significance, while also supporting the flourishing of arts and the scholars who inked the magnificent saga of her rule into history. Lying in the shade of the growing Kushite influence, the Roman Empire nurtured a ravenous hunger. Sparkling in their eyes was the jewel of Kush, a land ripe with untold wealth and a cornucopia of rich resources. It was a tantalizing prize they sought desperately to own. Parallels of greed and fear played through the smoke and mirror game of politics and power. Rome's sinister narrative contemplated Kush, its civilization, culture, and influence. The stage was set for a drama destined to drown shores in echoes of rage and rain. This coveted land had gained an unsought suitor, eager to claim her treasures, subjugate her people, and rule her skies. However, Rome's desire was not a mere whim. It grew from the seams of ambition sown by one man whose dreams were cloaked in conquests and territorial expansion. The sword-bearer to Rome's looming ambitions was the renowned Roman prefect of Egypt, Gaius Petronius. A man of formidable acuity and strategic prowess, he sought to solidify Rome's power through Kush's acquisition, and he was prepared to wield the full might of the Roman Empire to capture this African gem. As dawn cracked over the horizon, the firmament split with an ominous resonation, the foreboding anthem of war. The Roman Empire, the most formidable force in the world, was marching upon the lands of Kush, greed lining their intent. An insidious chill slithered across the region, turning the air thick with tension. The seeds of fear were sown in everyone's heart, their homes and lives on the precipice of destruction. Nightmarish images of a desolated Kush haunted the once vibrant kingdom, threatening to eclipse its brilliance. The storm was closing in, headed unswervingly by Gaius Petronius, eager to sink his claws into Kush's wealth. Amidst the turmoil, a beacon of resilience stood unfazed, Queen Amanirenas. Her eyes painted a story of determination and resolution, but behind the veneer of stoicism lay the daunting task of steering her people through the inevitably approaching tempest. Even as clouds of dread hanging over Kush began to seep into the heart of its people, there stood a beacon of steely certainty, Queen Amanirenas. Her faith unfazed, her spirit unbroken by fear, she began formulating her masterstroke. With a dexterous fusion of long-standing Kushite strategies and insightful original techniques, she plotted a defense plan as invincible as her spirit. Always a hands-on leader, Amanirenas was seen alongside her men, sharpening her archery skills, which were touted as the best in the realm, a well-placed arrow being her signature mark in battle. Not just content on shooting arrows from afar, the queen was an accomplished horse rider, often seen astride her magnificent steed, a picture of power and relentless determination. Behind those walls of preparation, Amanirenas was not just readying her kingdom and herself for a brutal onslaught. Instead, she was lifting the veil off a new chapter of resilience, courage, and an inspirational saga of defending one's homeland at all costs. A defining moment when the relentless waves of the Roman Empire crash against the steadfast cliffs of Kush. The lands that once echoed with bustling markets and resonated with scholars engrossed in intellectual discourse, now punctuated with a cacophony of war. Powerful Roman forces, intending to swallow the prosperity and wealth of Kush, stand before Queen Amanirenas' courageous army, an army resolute to guard their homeland's sovereignty. Queen Amanirenas' visage, a canvas of unwavering determination as she looks over the battlefield. Each turn of events hinting at a bloody, bitter struggle ahead. The air shivers with the weight of their desperation, their unyielding spirit to retain the freedom that is now on the brink of being usurped. Shielded by the veil of tension, a burning desire for victory flares in every Kushite heart. Soldiers grip their weapons tighter, whispers of prayers to ancient deities carried away by the wind. All eyes rest on Amanirenas, a beacon of hope standing tall against the looming vellum of an imminent clash. Amidst the turbulent tides of anticipation, there are only two outcomes, either a victorious dawn or an abyss of defeat. This monumental test will be their most epic tale, an epitome of relentless strength and undying will. In the backdrop of the merciless war, an evolutionary phase sparks within Queen Amanirenas' tactical repertoire. The Romans, mighty with their formations and brute force, anticipate an orthodox retaliation from Kush. But Amanirenas is a crafty strategist. Her eyes open to the ways in which the vast desert landscape and Night's Veil could be their allies. The documentary will show animations of Amanirenas' strategic meetings, Her directives translated into efficient guerrilla tactics on the battleground. As Kushite forces convert into elusive shadows in the desert, they begin to attack in sudden bursts. Night raids petrify the cocky romance. Traps spring unannounced under their marching feet. Amanirenas forces, once perceived as underdogs, now several steps ahead of Rome's conventional military thinking. The havoc inflicted by these skillfully orchestrated attacks sows the seeds of dread in the heart of the Roman Empire. The Romans look to each other with uncertainty, their once invincible facade slowly unveiling weakness and fear. Behind this transformative warfare stands Queen Amanirenas, an emblem of ingenuity under extreme pressure. She has audaciously chosen to reinvent rather than conform, to adapt rather than surrender. This sequence marks the turning point, not just in the face of Kushite warfare, but also in the faith that her people have in her leadership. Amanirenas symbolizes a beacon of unexpected, unyielding resistance. A sudden twist embraces the war of Kush, a change in the winds of fate facilitated by none other than Queen Amanirenas herself. Her leadership, akin to a lighthouse in unfathomable storm, steers the Kushites toward a bearing unimaginable to the besieging Romans. The power of the unwavering Kushite force materializes not in the form of heavily clad warriors marching down the battlefield in broad daylight, but as an elusive specter that fights in the shadows. Queen Amanirenas masterfully orchestrates sabotage and guerrilla tactics, her forces becoming the embodiment of relentlessness and dogged determination. Her knowledge of the terrain works to her advantage, as her forces ambush Roman troops unaware of their surroundings. One by one, Roman camps are set ablaze under the gloom of darkness, their supply wagons plundered, their arrogant march across Kush disrupted. Military outposts stationed deep along the Nile for the securing of supply routes are dismantled too. This would turn the once formidable Roman legions into disoriented, scared men, thrown into disarray, struggling to survive in unknown lands. No longer is it a battle against an army. Now it is against the very spirit of Kush itself. The resounding principle of divide and conquer that Romans so passionately embraced is skillfully utilized against them by Amanirenas, as she sows fear and confusion in the heart of enemy lines. This shrewd strategy would lead to crippling blows to the Roman military logistics, diminishing their previously overwhelming fighting advantage. An era dawns where Rome now finds itself plunged into a dark labyrinth of chaos and apprehension, caught off guard by the resolute spirit and cunning strategy of a supposedly easy conquest. Amidst the roaring war cries and thundering hooves, a figure stands unmoved, a beacon of hope, Queen Amanirenas. In the face of despair, she remains steady as a monolith. She is the embodiment of her people's spirit, their defiance. The film will show Amanirenas, a leader, thick in the turmoil of battle, yet she carries a stoic calm, like a lake amidst a storm. Her voice rises above the mayhem, every word a rallying cry awakening the spirit of Kushites, their nobility, their indomitable spirit. Hope sparks in the eyes of her people. The flickering flames of resistance dance harder and higher, growing into a wildfire that no force could quench. Faces, hardened by war, softened by fear and worry, now seem to carry an air of resilience. They are her people, Kushites, ready to stand shoulder to shoulder, not merely to survive, but to resist the mighty Roman Empire. Every village and city across Kush reverberates with this newfound determination. Far from surrendering to dread, each man, each woman, each child now stand resolute. They pick up their weapons, they don their armors, physically readied for battle, mentally steeled to protect their homeland. United under Amanirenas' leadership, they are no longer disparate entities, but a single strong body ready to resist any force seeking to conquer them. the once passive countryside it transforms into a landscape of resistance. There's a newfound energy amongst the Kushites, an unyielding conviction set to turn the tide of war and rewrite the course of history. The Roman Empire might possess great power and vast territories, but it lacks what the Kushites have in abundance: unity and purpose, and a queen who knows how to inspire her people to unleash their full potential. United under Queen Amanirenas, Kushites prepare to not merely meet their colossal opponent, but to challenge it. The thunder of war rolls on. The once seemingly invincible Roman legions face an unexpected resistance, an impassable wall. It's a defining moment in the annals of Kushite history. The once small kingdom, under the resolute leadership of Queen Amanirenas, stands unbowed against the might of Rome. Amanirenas' palpable presence on the battlefield inspires her warriors and uplifts their spirits. Romans, so sure of their victory, now taste the bitter pill of defeat. The strategic maneuvering and use of guerrilla warfare tactics finally start to pay dividends as Roman aggression begins to falter. The balanced scales of this war start to tip, and not in favor of Rome. Amanirenas' valorous efforts, maintaining unity among her people and sustaining an impervious line of defense, prove to be the key. Kush blossoms under the warmth of coming victory, while Rome has its first taste of a harsh winter chill. The once oppressors now find themselves cornered, all thanks to one queen's unflinching determination and love for her kingdom. The final blow, an assertion of Kushites' resilience and tenacity, is at hand. Amanirenas braves against the tumultuous tide of war, her spirit unbroken. With every step, with every order, with every arrow released, she strikes fear into the hearts of Romans, a fear previously unknown to this mighty empire. Across the sprawling battlefield, a familiar figure is seen in retreat. It's Gaius Petronius, swallowed by a sea of his retreating soldiers. The once boisterous Roman general now emits shadowy silence, a telling contrast to the jubilant roars of victorious Kushites echoing across the ancient African plains. The Roman war machine that seemed invincible once now retreats under the firm gaze of the unbowed queen. The Roman arrogance is shattered, their unblemished prestige now smeared with the much-feared strokes of defeat. Their dreams to capture Kush's wealth and valuable resources lie abandoned on the battlefield. It was more than a victory for the Kushites. It was a message to all future empires. A small kingdom, under the leadership of a woman, can not only resist, but also humiliate the mightiest. As we move into the final act of this historical recountal, Queen Amanirenas' triumph will echo as an anthem of defiance, a reminder to never underestimate the power of conviction. Melodies of triumph will reverberate through history, as Kush's victory under Queen Amanirenas manifests a resounding blow to Roman prestige. As the last echoes of the warfare rang out and the plumes of smoke subsided, there unfolded a spectacle that sent shockwaves across continents. The mighty Roman Empire, the seemingly invincible force of the time, had met its match in the resilient dominion of Kush. Standing at the helm of this victory was Queen Amanirenas, in all her regal splendor and unyielding spirit. This was not merely an act of surviving an invasion. It was a resounding statement to the world that even the world's most formidable empire could be checked, could be defeated. Kush had not just confronted their fears, but snatched triumph from the jaws of adversity. In this defining moment, Queen Amanirenas emerged not just as a monarch, but as a symbol of defiance and unabated courage. The actuality of this victory quickly spread across her kingdom, setting off a wave of jubilations. The triumphant soldiers cheered, their voices echoing across the vast landscapes of Kush, intertwining with the melodies of celebration sung by the citizens. Every high five, every cheer was a testament to their collective strength and resilience. It was as if each citizen had engaged in this epic battle, standing shoulder to shoulder with their queen. This victory also led to an unprecedented surge in faith and belief amongst her people. The futures they had envisaged, clouded with apprehensions about Roman invasions, were suddenly filled with light and possibilities. The unseen shroud of fear was lifted and replaced by the vibrant hues of hope and determination. Queen Amanirenas had proven that she was a leader who could not just inspire her subjects, but lead them through the stormy waters towards safer shores. And as these beautiful moments unfurled, one fact became unequivocally obvious. The unbowed throne of Kush would remain unbowed. It would hover indomitably above the storms, symbolizing the spirit of unity, of strength, and of unyielding courage, forever resilient and forever strong. But Amanirenas was more than just a warrior queen. She was an astute administrator who recognized the importance of economic prosperity for her kingdom's survival. In a masterstroke of diplomacy, she formed alliances with Rome's trading partners. This led to an era of booming trade and prosperity, with Kushite markets teeming with gold, incense, and precious gems from across Africa and beyond. Amanirenas' reign was also steeped in religious dedication. She set about restoring the temples destroyed in war, rebuilding them brick by brick, bringing back their past glory. New temples were also erected, towering testaments to Kush's traditional gods and to their unbowed faith even in the face of monstrous adversity. Even after her departure from the physical world, Queen Amanirenas continues to live on in the heart of Kush. Her fearless story is etched in stone, memorialized in reliefs and towering statues. Each monument whispers tales of her triumphant reign, invoking awe and respect, reminding future generations of their warrior queen who dared to defy an empire. Today, Queen Amanirenas' enduring legacy continues to echo through the African continent. Her story is a beacon that guides and inspires modern Africa. Her lesson, that strength, wisdom, and vision can overcome the most daunting challenges. Africans look back at her reign with pride, drawing courage to face their own battles, to forge their own victories. Queen Amanirenas of Kush, a formidable ruler, an astute diplomat, indefatigable warrior, and an architectural visionary. Her reign echoes through the annals of time, reminding us of an era when a brave woman defied an empire and emerged victorious. Her courage, resilience, and wisdom serve as an indelible ode to her remarkable life. She remains unbowed on her throne in history, ever inspiring, ever radiant. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories of amazing people and beautiful lands.